Okay, so before I begin, I just wanted to start off by addressing a couple of things. I just feel like I have to, after all the comments I got and stuff, I have to kind of, address 2 points. I'm new to this, so I'm still fixing things. So the lighting, still working on that. I'm using sunlight, so I can't really control where it goes, but I'm still working on that. My background, I tried to change it. As you guys can see, it's less messy, so that way it's not distracting. And the second thing is that these videos are me telling stories. If you've ever talked to me in person, you know that you're not going to be sitting here for 5 minutes talking to me. This is going to be long. It's just generally going to be story time. So it's going to be pretty long. It's going to be long. So go get a snack, go use the bathroom. If you want to have something to do in the background while you're watching, or you could just not watch, because I'm definitely probably not going to be making them shorter. I don't have that many short stories, but that's just to address those 2 things. So today I am going to tell the story of taking my friend's boyfriend, because I personally don't see it that way, but that's what we're going to talk about. So as I said in my last video, I went to school in the city. And there was this guy. It was my first year of high school. So there was this guy that I saw one day, walking past the basketball court or something like that. I thought he was really cute. So we're going to call him Bo. And he and I, we talked a bunch. We were friends and stuff. And there was one day where we were Facebook messaging, and he told me that he wanted to ask this girl out. Personally, I have a romantic view of everything. So I thought he was trying to be cute,
oh, I want to ask this girl out, but I don't know if I should. What should I do?
And he was talking about me, because I'm a vain person. But I gave him advice, thinking it was me, and I told him to ask her out in person the next day at school. So I got myself all dolled up for school the next day, trying to be cute. And the next day, he asked out my close friend, who we're gonna call Sydney. So they started dating, and he and I were close, and she and I were close. And let's just take a moment and talk about Sydney, because she was a year older than me. And so it was first year of high school. So I was 14, she was 15, and Bo was 2 years older. So he was 16. Yeah. So her dad was racist and overprotective. So he didn't want her dating anyone, because he had found out about some naked pictures she sent in middle school. But he didn't like Bo because he wasn't Latino and he was too dark. He's my complexion, so for a light-skinned Hispanic person, this is pretty dark. So the relationship kind of had to be a secret. So they used to Skype and text and stuff, but her dad found out about it, and he took her phone away, took her computer, took away all her stuff. She lived really close to the school, and she had to be home within 15 minutes of classes ending. So school ended at 3:17. She had to be home, not even really 15 minutes. She just had to be home by 3:30. That was really it. She was how he would call the house phone, and if she wasn't home to answer the phone, she'd be on punishment. I didn't know what the punishment was, but he seemed crazy. So you would literally see her run to her locker. Class would be over. She always sat by the door, and she'd run to her locker and then run out the door and run all the way home. So they, because of this they weren't allowed to hang out and stuff. They couldn't be around each other after school. She had to go home for lunch. They didn't have any time to spend together. So they started this cute little notebook that they would pass back and forth. So it was kind of passing notes in kindergarten. They would write a note and then pass it to me, because I ended up being the person in the middle, because her dad basically had the dean and all the teachers making sure that they weren't near each other in class. They couldn't talk, whatever. So one of them would pass me the notebook, and then I would pass it to the next person when I had the chance. So my nosy self, I would read stuff in the notebook, but I had permission anyway. It didn't matter. But when they would show stuff to me, I would pretend I didn't see it, to be that's so cute, oh my god. But I already read it, because I'm a nosy person. But it was really adorable person. I think it was cute. But because of this, all of us got really close. Because of this, kind of triangle going on there, we were really close. So after 2.5 years of this, it was literally the middle of junior year, Bo and I were best friends. Like, we were really, really close. Like, we told each other everything. Like, we were in the same advisory. Advisories are kind of like homerooms. So we were in the same advisory. So we would, like, always be in the same group of friends. And, like, we went and did, like, projects together. We did community service together because the school, like, required a certain amount of community service. So we were really close. And then Sydney and I, we were really, really close. Like, she couldn't really confide in anybody, but like, I am not a very judgmental person, so I don't, like, make fun of her or, like, you know, talk about her dad or whatever. Like, I would just kind of be like, you know, you're gonna be older, you're gonna go off to college, and you're not gonna have to deal with it anymore. Just stick it out for the next couple of years. Like, I was supportive. So we were those were both, like, two of my best friends. And it got a little intense because after a while, Bo started really getting tired of having to hide his relationship. Like, in the whole 2.5 years they were together, like, they never kissed, you know, like, they barely ever hold hands. Like, if we went on school trips, like, if we went to the movies or something, like, they would sit next to each other and it would be, like, you know, kind of cute. But they really didn't, you know, nothing happened between them. So he was getting really tired of having to just have this relationship on the down low. So he broke up with Ceilidh. So, you know, it was devastating for her. She was heartbroken. Like, she was in love with him. I mean, he was in love with her too, don't get me wrong, but he was just tired of it, you know? So they were just, like, not on good terms. She was really heartbroken. So after, like, maybe after about a month after they broke up, I was on Facebook, right? I was scrolling because I like to stalk. So I was scrolling through Facebook, and this girl that was in, like, a year younger than us, I think. A year or two younger? No, she was a year younger than us. So she was a sophomore while we were juniors. We find out from her Facebook because her friend tagged her in a picture. You know how when you tag someone in something, it shows up on their timeline. So on her timeline, her friend, we're going to call her Dor. We're going to call the girl Selba, and we're going to call the girl's friend Dor. So Dor had put up a picture of Selba and Bo, and was like, my favorite couple, and put, like, their date, and it said something like, you know, like 2011 or something like that. Like, Bo and Ceilidh started dating in 2010. So it was a problem because we were like, I told her, obviously, that's my friend, like, you know. So I told her, she was so upset. Like, she was just like, what is this? Like, he was cheating on me, whatever. But when we, like, talked about it, me and Bo, he said that he was more upset that he disappointed me than he was that he hurt Ceilidh. So I just kind of looked at that, like, kind of weird, like, what are you saying? Like, where are your feelings at right now? So I didn't say anything because that wasn't my business. But he ended up, like, staying with Selva. So they were dating or whatever. And he and I, like, kept talking. Like, that was, you know, my close friend. Like, we were best friends. And things started to kind of, like, get over into that flirty side. Like, you know, when you're, like, playing around and things just kind of get, like, a type of way. Like, we were kind of flirting and stuff. It was flirtatious. So it kind of kept going like that. And then for the next, like, 3 months of his relationship with Selba, they broke up. So around that time was the same time that I got broken up with by my ex, Andy. We're gonna call him Andy. So since we both, like, were out of relationship at the same time, we were like, you know what? Let's have a day where we can just cheer each other up, you know, relax, hang out. So we were both, like, runners. Like, we did track, bridge running, like, that type of stuff or whatever. So we, like, went for a run, like, did, you know, nice little relaxing thing or whatever. Then we went out to eat afterwards. And then later that night, we were talking on the phone, and we just kind of, like, let everything out. Like, all the feelings came out. Like, we just established, like, listen, we got feelings for each other. Like, there's no point in trying to hide it, you know, like, that type of thing. So we talked basically every single night after that. Like, we started spending time together. Like, it just got, you know, in that talking phase where you're not together, but you act like you are, that type of thing, whatever. Like, I would go over to his house, hang out with his mom and stuff. And we had, like, our first kiss, like, a couple weeks after that day where we decided to cheer each other up and stuff. And as it started to, like, get more intense between us, I felt like Ceilidh needed to know. Because she was still my friend. Like, we were still close. Like, you know, I was still there for her. I was helping her get through the breakup. And I felt like it was weird that I'm over here consoling her about this breakup, and I'm talking to the guy that just broke up with her. So I felt like she needed to know because I wanted a relationship. Like, I didn't want to just talk to him and have fun. Like, I wanted a relationship. And I felt like if we were going to start dating, you know, like, she's gonna find out. You know, it's a small school. Like, my graduating class was 94 students, so it was a really small school. So she was gonna find out, and I would rather her hear it from me or from him, but mostly from me because not him. But I'd rather her hear it from me than from anyone else. So she and I, it was like a day where we had a trip or something, so we had an early lunch, so she didn't have to go home for lunch. So she and I went to the store together to go get sandwiches, and along the way, I started telling her, and it just came out, like, it was pouring out. Like, I was just like, you know, I'm talking to him, and we talk on the phone, and, you know, I met his mom, and I go over to his house all the time, because I just, like, told her everything, and we both started crying. Like, I was so overwhelmed, because, like, she looked so hurt, and I didn't want to hurt her feelings, so I started crying, and she was obviously, like, upset, so she was crying. She ended up not talking to me for the rest of the day, which was really hurtful, because we were really good friends. So I kept trying to talk to her, like, listen, talk to me, like, how are you feeling, like, let's talk this out, like, I still want us to be friends, like, I came to you because I care about your feelings, you know, talk to me. And she wouldn't talk to me. Like, she just left. Like, she walked off, she went into the school, like, she went with a different group of friends, didn't talk to me the rest of the day. So I thought our friendship was over, and I was really hurt by it. And then, like, the rest of the day went on. I got home, and, like, maybe an hour after I got home, it was, like, nighttime. It was, like, 8 o'clock. And I have this message on my phone on Kik, and she's basically, like, cussing me out. Like,
oh, you bitch, how could you do that? You're so disrespectful, like, you took my boyfriend, whatever.
And I'm just like, you're really here cussing me out over, like, a Kik keyboard instead of in my face when I was asking you questions about it earlier. Like, come direct. Like, don't hide behind this keyboard. So we basically stopped being friends, because I wasn't gonna sit here and, you know, just deal with that. Like, I was just like, I asked you about this earlier and you had nothing to say to me, but now that you're at home safely away from me, you feel safe enough to say whatever you want to me. Like, that's disrespectful. And she's just cursing at me, calling me a bitch, calling me this and that, calling me out of my name. I was just like, all right, no. So I blocked her on Kik, and we stopped talking. That was the end of our friendship. And then, like, every chance she got, she felt the need to take digs at me. Like, she would throw subs on Facebook and, like, Twitter. I don't even use Twitter, but she would be throwing subs at me on Twitter, like, posting up Instagram pictures, talking about, oh,
I'm all alone, I only gotta worry about myself,
whatever, like, just stuff. Like, started rumors about me. Like, it was crazy. It was frustrating. Like, more people found out that he and I were talking from her saying stuff than from him and I, like, vibing. So it was really annoying, but he and I kept talking anyway because we liked each other, and it was like, whatever. He kept trying to keep a good friendship with her, and it kind of got to me because she started to think that we were in competition. Like, she was like, oh,
but your man is still talking to me, like, I always come first, you know, like, that's always mine.
I feel like I waited an appropriate amount of time, like, to say anything about how I felt. And she, like, you know how I had, like, ask.fm? I don't know if anyone else had that, but I had ask, and I had my anonymous thing on, and she would, like, ask me anonymous not ask questions, she would just be saying stuff, like, anyways. But she would be like, oh, you know, like,
why do you think that Bo wants you?
Like, stupidity like that. And I was just like, because he's talking to me and not you, like, I don't know. So over the summer, because this was, like, all towards the springtime, so over the summer, I had to tell him to stop talking to her because she was really taking it to heart. Like, she was really thinking she was special, and I'm just like, you're really not. So I told him, like, listen, it's not even that deep. Like, just stop talking to her. Like, don't be friends with her. She's not, like, trying to be your friend. She wants more than that. She just wants to rub it in my face. So they stopped talking, and she got really, like, upset over it or whatever. So she stopped coming at me. Like, she just stopped talking to me entirely. She just kind of fell off the face of the earth. So he and I started dating in September, like, right before school started, literally, like, the day before school started. But she started more rumors about me and about stuff that we did and whatever, and it was just annoying. But at some point, she tried to send him naked pictures, and I got back at her on that, but that's another story. We're not going to talk about that today. But he and I stayed together for a year, and then we broke up, which is another story. But that's basically the story of how I took her boyfriend. I don't think I did. I actually think that I waited an appropriate amount of time and did it the right way, and she just took it in a totally different way than it happened. But that's the end of my video. So if you liked this, then like it, comment, subscribe, tell me how you feel, share it, tell your friends, and I'll see you next time. Bye!
Oh, you're so ugly. Why do you think that wants you?
Oh, I said his name. Oh my god, I'm gonna have to edit that out.
Just do like a beep.
I'm gonna edit it out and just redo it. Okay, should be like, hold on.